Hello everyone and welcome to the 40th episode of NiinaN Knitting and happy 2019. This is my first episode this year and it's been quite a while since our last podcast. Today is January 9th and it's a Wednesday and I'm in a forest pretty close to where I work. I had some lessons in the morning and then I have a 4-hour gap between classes. So I thought I'd go to the supermarket since I needed something and then on the way back get this episode finally recorded. So my name's Niina. You can find me on Ravelry as Ninima, and I joined Instagram at the beginning of December, and there I am NiinaN Knitting. I'll put the info on the screen. I hope to be able to make a photo with that info, so it'll be easier that way. After joining Instagram, I really did find a whole new dimension to the knitting community. It's been really nice. Lots of people have started following me. I've started following quite a few people. And as I predicted, yes, there is a lot of yummy stuff over there. So, a lot of things that you would like to have. Yeah, what else have I? I have my notes. I made these for last Saturday. I was supposed to podcast then, but well, stuff happened and I didn't get a chance to do that until now. And I really don't remember too much what I've written. Well, not everything, let's just say. Yeah, so since there's been like at least 5 weeks between these episodes, there are quite a few FOs, finished objects. But I only have one to really show you, and others will be in pictures, in photos. That's why I've decided to call this episode the Picture Parade. As you can imagine, I did a lot of stuff for Christmas for different people, so I'll be talking about them more or less. And then I have one thing that I frogged, and I'm going to mention that, and then 2 whips. A little bit of yarn acquisition, and then at the very end I'll just do some chatting. But my first finished object is something that I don't no longer physically have. It's the pair of sort of mittens that I had on my needles last time. So the pattern's called Nisu by Gert Urman. I guess I gathered it's an Estonian designer, and there was a different name on Ravelry, but on the page that I printed, it said designer Gert Urman. So I'm gonna go with that. They were for my niece. The yarn I used is Tete Pallas in a yellow colorway. It's a sports weight yarn, I think, and I used 3.25 millimeter needles. That is US size 3. Yeah, so I had last time I had left hand, and because I was doing fingerless gloves / mittens, so I had the hand part and 2 studs of finger done last time. So I did my middle finger and the index finger, and I put it aside, I think, yes. And then I did the right one with all that, and with half of the stitches on hold for the sort of hood for the mittens. So I did that, and I have not very nice photos, but some photos of the pair. I think maybe 2. I was in a rush, as you can imagine. So then my second finished object was another pair of gloves with a cable pattern on the back of the hand. It was a dropped design, and I used two different colorways of Handu Paksukis yarn. I had them from previous projects, and I used 3.5 millimeter DPNs. That's US size 4 because it was a bit thicker, that yarn. So I knew that I didn't have enough of either color, so that's why I decided to start with, I was knitting them two at a time, or started them two at a time from the rib, and I did that in one color, and then I separated for two different pairs of needles because there was a Latvian braid between the rib and the hand, and I was not going to do a Latvian braid two at a time on magic loop. I'm not that crazy. So I did one and then I did the other, and I think after that I continued on magic loop two at a time, uh, doing the hand, and then I left some stitches on hold for the hood stuff, and then I knit just a couple of rows with this other color, and then I changed for ribbing color for the fingers, I think, yes. And the hood was in the same color as the back of the hand. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put on my gloves because it's -5. I just checked. It's about -5 degrees Celsius, and that is 23 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not very cold, but it's not warm either. So yeah, just gonna put the gloves on, or the gloves on before I freeze to death. Yeah, was there anything else? Yeah, I more or less followed the pattern. I did the cabling according to the pattern, and just the thing that I left the stitches on hold was my own modification. Yeah, that was the second finished object after last episode. At that point, I was really getting busy because I wanted, each year I want to give something for my daughter's daycare teachers, and it's usually something handmade. So I was really in a rush to do something, and that's why I said, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna knit some dishcloths. And there were three teachers to whom I knit them. I used Novita cotton bamboo yarn and 4.5 millimeter needles. That's US size 7. And I just cast on a certain amount of stitches, and then I have this stitch dictionary. I showed it, I got it as a birthday present a couple of years ago, I think. But maybe I'll just mention it on the screen which stitch dictionary it is. Anyway, chose some patterns from there because knitting, for example, garter would be just too boring. So I did something, and then after I'd finished them, I decided to, you know, present them in a little different light. So I'm gonna put a picture up there. I think I folded all of them in half, and then I rolled them to a little roll, and then put some ribbon around it. So that was a nice little present to the teachers. Something that you can use, not like, I think teachers often get candles and all chocolate. It's always nice, but something a little different. And then I know that I've messed up with the order of the FOs. Oh yeah, yeah. Then Christmas was getting really close, and I have some nephews, nieces, and a niece and a few nephews from my husband's side. So they're actually his niece and nephews. So I was making them something for Christmas. Um, Päivi, who has Päivi's Crafts podcast in Finnish, mentioned a website called Jujuna, www.jujuna.fi, put it on the screen. And on that site, there was a Christmas calendar. So each day she was, I presume she or they were presenting or highlighting something from the site. Sometimes it was a pattern either on discount or totally free of charge. And I found a pattern for pants, so that's sewing, by the way, a pattern for pants from that site. And since I do have some fabrics at home too, just don't sew very often because it's the trouble of getting the sewing machine from the cupboard or the closet and putting it on the dining room table and cutting and doing all that. It takes a lot of time and effort. So yeah, but I do sew every now and then. So it was nothing difficult, but yeah, I sewed a pair of pants for the niece and her brother. They're twins. And were size 80 centimeters. That's what I assumed. I was not sure how big clothes they use. Yeah. So thanks, Päivi, for the tip. And then the next two FOs. So that the pants were number 6 and 7, and then there's another pair of brothers. So my husband's nephews. One is 2, and the other one just over just like a couple of months, maybe 3-4 months, something old. So when I was going through my fabrics, I found I think it's a onesie, a garment for a baby, almost done. And I remember when I was sewing it, or actually I sewed 2, and one I finished, and I really don't remember why this one didn't get finished. But I didn't have a zipper for it. Everything else I did, and it only lacked the zipper and the ribs in the collar and cuffs and the cuffs of the pants. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, so for this smaller nephew, I finished that. I went to the store and got a zipper, and I finished the onesie or whatever it is. And then for his older brother, I sewed another pair of pants, the same kind that I made for the twins. This was just in a little bigger size, of course, because these 2 and the twins are 1. Right, 8 and 9. I'm rushing because I'm getting cold, and besides, I don't have them here, so it feels a little weird talking about them. I know that I'll have some photos, but Anyway, so the 10th finished object was my last Christmas present, and sadly, I have to say that I did not finish it completely before this recipient came. So all the mitts or mittens or whatever they're called were for my sister, my younger sister, and her daughters. There are 3, and I knew that I wouldn't be seeing them on Christmas Eve, which is the day here in Finland, nor on the Christmas Day, but I knew that they'd be coming to Järvenpää, to my mom's, where we spent Christmas. on the 26th, on Boxing Day. So I was really, really trying to get them ready for that. But I have to admit that I was bind. No, I wasn't binding off. I was weaving in the ends when they came. So the 10th pair, or the 10th FO, was a pattern called Winding Way by Cheryl Beckerish, maybe. And I used two different colors of Novika Nalle yarn, which is a sport weight yarn, and 3.25 millimeter needles, so that's US size 3. And I had this yellow Nalle yarn, and it was on a ball. I didn't know how much it weighed, but since I hadn't used Nalle for any of the other pairs of mittens, I wasn't sure how much I'd need. So I wanted to play it safe, and I had a gray ball of Nalle yarn too. So what I did was I started with the gray, did the ribbing, and then I started with the yellow, and I did everything else in yellow except the rib, and then the four fingers or little studs or whatever the parts of fingers. So that was in gray, and everything else was in yellow. And did the same modifications. So I did it like in the pattern, but when I got to right about here, I put half of the stitches on hold. I picked up some equivalent amount of stitches from inside the work, and then I continued to do the fingers, and then I did the hoods, and then I did the thumbs with the little hood on the thumbs too. Yeah, quite a lot of FOs, and I still have one more, something that I actually have here to show you. I mentioned at the end of last episode, I think, that I was taking part in a mystery KAL called Midwinter Moon Mystery KAL MKAL. I finished mine. It was, the last clue was released just before New Year, I think. Well, don't remember, but yeah, here's mine. It's nice and big. I'm not gonna be able to fit it in one screen on one screen. It started from this part, from this variegated blue, well, which is for me is a variegated blue. This is Hedgehog Fibers twist sock. I'm gonna have to check. The colorway is called Magic Potion, and the twist sock is not a merino. It's something else, and I'll put that on the screen. It's a fingering weight yarn anyway, and I was using 4.0 millimeter needles. That's US size 6, isn't it? Yes, it is. And then you really can't see in this part, but there are these garter stripes in a second color, but let's see where you can see the second color better. This is the color B, my color B. This is Lanitium Ex Machina. Polworth silk, and the colorway didn't have a name, or the tag didn't have a name for the colorway, but it's this sort of lighter, I don't know, purple or something. And then the third color, this light variegated, not white, but but lighter color is Manos del Uruguay Alegria in colorway Happy. Yes, and I really, really like it. It's very soft, very nice. They're all different fiber content, but it really didn't matter for me at least. I think they look fabulous, and this pattern is just great. I really like it. It was really fun to knit it too. It has nothing complex in it. Knits and pearls and these mesh parts or eyelet, more actually eyelets and short rows. But it's a very, very fun knit, and I really like how it turned out. Very, very pretty. Oh yeah, those of you who've seen my Instagram already know this. That when I had chosen or I'd taken my skeins of yarn out from my stash, and I'd actually taken a photo for Ravelry, I left it on the or left them, I think, on the couch or on the coffee table in the living room, either one. And then I popped out to do something else. And when I came back a while later, I found um, the Lanidium skein, so this colored skein, on the floor. And I remembered, or I noticed that my little furry friend had taken to it, and he had taken his teeth and sharpened them or something, so he chewed the skein. I was not a happy camper. And when I started caking the yarn, I did make some, I'd say several yarn cakes, because, well, he had cut it quite a few times. But yeah, there was enough of the yarn, so it was fine. But, I was not pleased when I noticed that. Uh, I think I didn't write it down in here. I have it in my Ravelry page how much of each of the yarn I used, but I have leftovers from all the three. Um, Half a skein. I used, I guess, half of the. Well, no, I'm not gonna guess anything, but over half or over half of each color I used. So it's fine, I think. Yeah, this is my FO, and I'm gonna keep it here on my lap because it's nice and warm in here now. Yes. Okay. Then I'm going to talk about the frog. Um, as those of you who've seen my podcast before or have seen my podcast last summer and last fall know that I took part in the Turvasok last summer, and I didn't finish the last stage. You'll know where this is going. I just ran out of time. So I didn't want to finish because the pattern wasn't speaking to me. And so last time you saw this sock, it had a partner. I had done, it was toe up. I had done all the left, the foot, and I was somewhere halfway doing the heel. And when I had finished my shawl, I just figured, okay, I'm gonna pick up that sock and finish it because it won't take long. But it had been really too long since I last worked on it because the heel part, yeah, it has very clear and good instructions, and I had gotten the hang of it when was doing it, but I just couldn't read my my knitting when I picked it up back up. And so I started doing it, trying to, get the hang of it again. And I just totally messed it up. It was nothing like it should have been. And then, okay, I did something so I finished the heel in a certain way. And I started to continue with this stripe thing, but this band that's going around the leg. But I couldn't. So I just decided, no, this has been sleeping too much, too long, and I just don't remember. So I just, since I really wasn't even too eager to get them, just I'll just drop it. So I frocked it. Still have this one to remember it by. Yeah. And then my whip that I have with me, actually two. On Saturday I only had one. But okay. Um, it's my daughter's sweater. Um, this one. So this is also a drops design. It's a design called Le Petit Bûcheron. And last time I showed it to you, was, where is the stitch marker there? Started from up, and it didn't. Well, you can see these stitches are on hold for. I hadn't separated for the sleeves, so a little before the separation. So I continued, did the rest of the body. I think the pattern had you doing plain stockinette in the round for the rest of the body. The in the pattern in the pattern picture, there's a boy wearing the sweater, but since mine is a girl, and I think this cable looks nice, then I just decided to keep it. So the sort of the trick of this sweater is that the raglan, between the raglan in places, you have this cable going down. And so I decided to keep it in the body, like here, like this. So this is the side seam in a way. And I didn't do any shapings for the body, just plain down until I had enough, and then I did a 2x2 rib. And I picked up the stitches for one of the sleeves. And since I don't have a small circular needle, I'm doing this with DPNs. At least for now, I haven't done any decreases yet. We'll see. If I need to make any decreases, maybe I'll just stop at that point and knit the second sleeve to the same point, and then I'll continue them two at a time on Magic Loop. That remains to be seen. The yarn in here is Sodnesgarn. What is it? Lanet Babur. And I'm using 4.0 millimeter needles, US size 6. And the DPNs I have here are Knit Fix Zings, as you can see. Yeah, that's my work in progress. And as you can see, I've done quite a bit. She is very excited to get it. And I was very excited. Okay, I'm gonna have one less whip after I finish this. But as it happens, yeah, one morning she woke up and said, "Mommy, I know what you're gonna make me after you finish the sweater. You're gonna knit me a kitty cat, a black kitty cat, because I had one in my dream just now." So I was like, what? So we'll have to see. But I may just have to knit her a black cat after I finish this. And this is in the project bag that I made. I sewed not last year, was it? Or not 2018, but 2017 maybe. It's a big one, and it's pretty heavy right now. And then the second whip, something that I forgot to mention last time is that there's this, I think I forgot to say, Sukka-Finlandia, a Finnish sock knitting competition, and I paid the entrance fee or whatever it's called. So last Saturday was the start, the first episode, not first episode, first stage of Sukka-Finlandia knitting competition. The patterns aren't finished, so they're for Finns primarily. But let me show you the pattern. I've printed in black and white, so I'm sorry you really can't see it too well. This pattern is by Anna Johanna, who is Neolisti MNK on Ravelry, and she has some really nice sweater patterns, but these are socks, of course. No, you can't really see much, but they're really pretty. This is what they look in the front, and then so it looks like there's only rib in the leg, but actually the interesting stuff is at the back of the leg. No, you can't see it too well. Anyway, there's this pretty nice cable stuff at the back. Of course, well, after the holidays, my budget is really low. And since I do have sock yarn in the stash, I just wanted to use that. Even though the sock yarn that I'm using is not suitable for cables because it's so busy. Okay, the pattern's called Janne from next door. So it's Finnish composer Jean Sibelius, whose nickname was Janne. Okay, so I'm doing these two at a time. Magic loop. And this is the front. And as you can see, the yarn is really horrible for this kind of pattern. This is the back of the leg, so where the cables are. Yeah. So I've done 2 repeats, that's the leg, and then I have started the heel flaps, which also has the same cable. But yeah, it's not great, but I just wanted to knit it, even though I didn't have a solid or semi-solid yarn in the stash. This is the yarn I'm using. It's the stuff that I bought from somebody's tea stash just a while ago. But yeah, they're nice to knit, but you know, it's just that the pattern doesn't show well in this yarn. The yarn and the needles I'm using, as you may recognize from the cord, is their Chaugu needles, 2.5 millimeter. This time I've decided that's US size 1.5. I decided to try the 2.5 millimeters with fingering weight yarn because previously I've been knitting fingering weight with 3.0 millimeter needles, so that's US size 2.5. But I just figured that yeah, I'm gonna try it. Maybe the fabric that I get will be a little more denser, and maybe I like it better. And especially for this yarn, it's very twisted. It looks very, very fine, even though it is just normal fingering weight, 420 meters in 100 grams. But it's, if you can see how thin it looks lightweight. Yeah, but that's what I'm knitting too. I'm not knitting sort of competing because I know that since I'm working now, I just don't have the time for it. And I don't need that stress because I know that it would be very easy to just start knitting with this mad glow in my eyes. But, you know, now that it's working time, I just don't have the time to do that. I have other priorities. Yeah. So, my finished objects, my whips, and the one that I brought. And then the little bit of stash enhancement. I went to a thrift store in December at one point, and I got some Novita Cottonella yarn. It was €2 per two balls, and I have 6 of these. And I have a project in mind for that. I'll just have to calculate if 6 gains or 6 balls will be enough for me. But we'll see. I'm just hoping that I'll be able to get it. And then Father Christmas remembered me with something knitting related. So I got this from a friend of mine for Christmas. Rakkain villatakki, so it's my dearest cardigan. No, well, something else. And I think it's in Swedish originally. Ah, it's really hard to turn the pages when you have your gloves on, you know? No, I can't find it. But anyway, 24 knitting and crocheting projects or patterns in this book, and I've just flipped it through. The knitting projects are, I think, all knit in pieces, but some of them are pretty okay. I might at least modify something and use that because some of them look pretty nice. Yeah, that's all of that, I think. Yes, and I'm really getting cold now. I'm just gonna get my chat off the way, and then I'm gonna go inside and get some lunch that I bought from the store. I'm sitting on a pack of toilet paper that I just bought from the store. The glorious life of a podcaster. Okay, chatter. Yes. So we spent Christmas at my mom's in Järvenpää, where I'm from. On Christmas Eve, we went to my big sister's with mom, and we got, because on the 24th we get the presents on the 24th, so um, that's where we went. Then on Christmas Day, we visited my brother-in-law and his family because they live an hour away from my mom's. And then, like I said, on the 26th, on Boxing Day, my younger sister came to my mom's and with her family. So we had a really nice day with them. And then on the 27th, we drove back to Jyväskylä. And my younger sister had decided to invite me and my older sister um, to theater as a present because she was getting me something for Christmas, and then because the adults, we pick a name and only uh, get something for one person because it's just so difficult to figure out what to buy for adults. So that's what we've done. Everybody buys a present for one person, and then of course you can buy something for your spouse. But anyway, so my sister was getting a Christmas present for me, and then my older sister has her birthday on the 19th of December. So she was trying to figure out what to get her for her birthday. So she decided to invite us to go to theater in Tampere, which is a city two and a no no an hour and a half in on train, or a little over than an hour and a half on the train south from here. And so I took the train there on the 29th and met with my sisters. They'd come from another direction. And then we did some shopping because there were the Christmas discounts or after Christmas discounts. And we had some dinner, some Chinese, and then we went to the theater. It was a nice play that we saw, and then we spent the night at the hotel, and then on the 30th we did some more shopping and had some lunch, and then we headed back home. So it was a very fun weekend, just relaxing and spending some time with my sisters. So that was very, very cool, and I do think it would be nice to do that again, maybe next year. Yeah, and then on New Year's Eve we were here at home. Uh, Nothing particular, just having some potato chips and that sort of things that we do have for on New Year's. Just spending time, nothing spectacular. And then um, we the kids started school and daycare last Monday, and of course I started work on Monday too. So it was some I was getting ready for work last week after New Year's, so I've had stuff to do. And next Thursday, we're going to a cruise. Oh wow, that sounds grand, but it's for a 24-hour cruise where we go with my colleagues. We have um, a meeting, I think, and some I don't know. We have a long meeting on the Friday, and then we'll have some relaxation on Thursday. But I know I'll be sharing the. Oh, it's not a room when it's on the ship. Cabin? No, it's not a cabin. Well, whatever. The room where we sleep. I'll be sharing with a colleague, and when I asked her, okay, will you share a room with me? And she was like, okay, yeah. Shall we take our knitting with me? I was like, yes, we shall. So it'll be really nice. Having time off, just alone time, and then of course spending time with my colleagues. So it will be fun. Yeah. And next Saturday is my daughter's birthday. She'll be 6. She's really waiting, uh, looking forward to it. And so I come back on at night between Friday and Saturday, 1 a.m. or something. Our bus will be here at 1 a.m. So uh, my surprise for her is that I'm home when she wakes up on Saturday. I'll perhaps buy something for her from the boat.
I always forget to say something when I podcast, and especially yesterday when I was recording, I was just getting so cold that I totally forgot to tell you about the videos that I put at the beginning and at the end of the episode. So the one that you have already seen in the intro was just taken from the forest there where I was, uh, just to show you that we've got quite a bit of snow at the moment. We had a pretty big snowstorm just uh, maybe a week ago or so, and we got plenty of snow back then. And over the past 2 weeks or so, we've really gotten some loads of snow. So that was just taken from the forest. And the video that I'm going to put at the end of the episode is um, one that I took this Monday uh, when I went to work. So I went to work when my classes started at 8:15, and I was there around quarter two. And so I had time to stop and admire the bridge that I've actually filmed before, at least last winter, and I think perhaps even on the winter before that. So it's really nice because it's lit during the winter. So I stopped for a while, took a clip of video, and then I crossed the bridge and parked my bike and climbed up the huge flight of stairs, or is it steps when it's outside? Anyway, um, and then I just took another clip from this different angle of the same bridge. So that's what's going to be at the end of this video.
Yeah, now getting really cold. I yeah, I hope that it won't take me a month to get the next episode out, but I can never be sure. Usually 2 weeks is pretty good for me, but if I have a chance to record, we'll see what happens. Until then, I hope you're keeping warm, and I hope you're having a really lovely time. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye.